Hi guys, and welcome back to So Sally-O. Today I'm covering part 3 of the Fairy Garden birthday cake. So in this video I'm going to show you how to make toadstools, grass, stepping stones and roses all out of fondant icing. If you haven't already, please go and check out parts 1 and 2 in which I show you how to make everything else on this cake, and please don't forget to subscribe if you like this kind of content. So first of all then, let's see how to make the toadstools. So I always use Renshaw fondant icing because I think it's the best. So if you can get some white and also some brown, I mean it doesn't really matter what brand of icing you use, but basically you just want to make sure the fondant's really nice and warm and malleable, and mix some brown, not too much, together with white just to give you the kind of pale brown shade you might expect of a toadstool. The beauty of this cake and this theme is that it really doesn't matter the shades exactly or the shapes exactly. It kind of adds to the character of the whole thing. So for the base of the toadstools you want to roll out a small section, really just copy what I'm doing here, just roll it into kind of a cone shape and add some indents or bend it over slightly just to make it look more realistic, and give it a nice flat top edge because the lid for the toadstool is going to go on there. You can see here they're all different shapes and sizes. And then we've got some edible glue, and I'm going to put this on the base of all of the toadstools, and then I'm going to dip that and rub it round into some cocoa powder. This is simply just to make it look a bit more realistic, as if the toadstools have been sitting at the end of the garden and they're a bit dirty from the mud and soil. So I did that with all of the toadstools. You'll see in a second what they look like. Now onto the lids. This is a pink mixed with a red fondant. Again, you can do all sorts of different colours if you like. I've just made these kind of dome shapes, just smooth it round into the palm of your hand. And then these yellow tools, I will link in the description box below. Just make an indent underneath so that the base can sit up there nicely, and smooth out the edges. Again, some bigger, some smaller, wonky, it all adds to the effect. Then roll out some tiny white balls of icing, and these are going to be the dots on the top of our toadstools. You can see here, it's a bit quick, I am adding some edible glue before I stick the white dots on. This just makes sure they're on really nicely and securely. I think I added about 8 or 9 dots per toadstool lid. Then I'm going to add in, magically, a cocktail stick. Just measure it so that the height's right. Onto the roses then. These aren't technically roses, you could call them whatever type of flower you like, but this is just how I make this particular type of flower. It's kind of a traditional one for a cake, I think. I did a few different types of flower on this cake, so watch the videos, which I will link above, to see what I did with the other ones. So I'm rolling out this long piece, and then I'm just squashing down with my thumb, and also this, again, yellow ball tool on one side only, one edge, just to make it a bit wrinkly. I'm cutting off either edge so that when it rolls up it goes into a nice cone shape. You just want the edges to not be too neat really, and to be thinned out. So you can see here I'm manipulating the icing slightly and bending it out with my fingers to make it look more realistic. I did quite a few for the cake, but just do any colours and as many or as few as you feel like. On the final lip of the rose here, I've just added the tiniest bit of edible glue to make sure it all stays securely together. And there you have it. They don't match, but that's the beauty of it. So on to stepping stones. Again, I've got white and then teddy bear brown. I haven't mixed it together very much here, just a tiny bit to give this marbleized effect. And then I'm using a nozzle just because it's what I had to hand and it's the perfect size I wanted, to cut out tiny circles all over the marble icing so that each stepping stone looks a little bit different. You could use any cutter really, depending on the size. You could use different sizes. The icing did get stuck in there a little bit, so I used this cake tester stick just to shove it out. I also made some wonky stepping stones, or pebbles if you like, just so that they didn't all look too neat. That's simply a ball of icing rolled up and squashed in my fingers. So onto grass then. This is Lincoln Green. That's the shade of Renshaw's I'm using here. I think it's the perfect shade of green, really. And then you just roll out on the palm of your hand, on one hand, and using your finger of your other hand, roll out into kind of a long sausage or snake worm shape, whatever you like. And you want one end to be much thinner. This is the way I've always found much easier, is to do one long thin one and then cut it down the center, and then make each of these pieces of grass a little bit wonky, you can see here, and then leave them to dry overnight like that, so that when you stick them on the cake they're not going to wobble or flop or anything. So you can see here the finished cake with absolutely everything on it. Again, please do subscribe to the channel if you like this type of thing. I have loads more cake decorating videos coming up. Please like the video and leave me a note in the comment below if you'd like to see more cakes, and if you've got any specific requests for children's birthday cake icing tutorials that I can do. Don't forget to watch parts 1 and 2 to see absolutely everything on this cake, how to make it quickly and easily from start to finish. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next week. Bye.